many times have you been in a situation very similar to the one that I'm about to talk to you concerning? Maybe you have been studying the Bible for a very, very, very long time, and somebody comes up to you knowing that you know the Bible pretty well, and they say, "Hey, James, do you remember this story in the Bible?" And before you say what you instinctually want to say, and that is, "You're ridiculous. I've never heard that story. I've read through the Bible a bunch of times, and I don't remember the story you're talking about," you sort of slow your roll. You stop for a second, you go look up what they were talking about, only to be shocked about the fact that indeed that story was in the Bible. And then you begin to rack your brain thinking why it seemed to be so inconsequential or insignificant to you. Yep, I've been there, I've done that, and that's happened on multiple occasions, sometimes while playing Bible trivia, in other times while people have come up to me and said, "James, I heard this obscure story, and it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me." Well, one such story that might come up that you might not remember or others might not remember simply because recently it was sort of brought up to my attention and I didn't completely remember it. And that is the story of Jesus being approached to pay the temple tax. Now, there's a bit of a dialogue that goes on concerning the paying of the temple tax, and it seems a little bit confusing, but to say the least, the real crux of the story is actually powerful and is one that will teach you a whole lot about what it means to have an intimate and personal relationship with God. Now, if it's a story that you might not remember, no big deal, because if you are watching this the day that this is being recorded, Sunday, I am going to teach through this passage in Matthew chapter 17, and it is going to blow your mind. It is going to be something substantial and very, very encouraging. We're going to talk about taxes, right? Why we pay them, why we should or shouldn't in some cases, right? And of course, we're going to talk about all kinds of other things related to the subject of our personal relationship with God, because a lot of big issues come up from the story of Jesus being hit up for temple taxes and then having a dialogue with his disciples about paying those temple taxes and why Jesus chose to do it even though he knew he was not obligated to pay it, being that he was the Son of the true and living God who the temple was actually dedicated to. Now, this becomes very, very unique for us to understand the core of and the crux of. And so I want to encourage you to go to the study that I am doing. If you're watching this at the time it's being released, the study will start in an hour. If you are watching it after Sunday, or maybe it's Sunday evening, we will put the story up so that you can watch the study. I think you'll be really blessed, and I think you'll be very encouraged. Either way, always pay attention to the small and minute details, at least the details we think are small and minute in the Bible, because if they were not significant or they were not important, God would not have allowed them to be in it. So I think it's important for us to pay attention to every detail, ask the important questions, and run with it, because God wants to teach us a great lesson. So let's look to him, let's seek him, and watch God do great things. God bless you guys.